Hello, Internet. LB did not give us much warm-up time. Welcome to Tabletop Tuesdays. We're back with Squire Squad, and as you can see, we've got a slightly different cast tonight. We'll talk about that in a second, but you just saw our intro video that tells you kind of the stuff we do on this channel, lots of our shows, lots of the games we do. And we do have a recently updated schedule, which I will let Savvy tell you about because they run that new show, but we'll get to that in just a minute. Let's see, you can also see on the screen our lovely new art that we have, courtesy of our friend of the channel, Z, at NecromanZ on most socials. So you should definitely check them out. We don't have art for our guest character because guest character, but look at all them faces. And we'll tweet the art out once we have everyone's ready to go. So look forward to that. Let's see. Should have written down what I should talk about for housekeeping. Video says the things we're doing, our schedule should be as normal. So next time this channel should be live, should be Thursday with Elegant Magics. I keep saying should because life has forced us to cancel the past 2 times. Oops. Friday will be Neon Souls. This Saturday is the Saturday Night Star Power. Sunday should be back with, is Vaesen done now?
We got one more Vaesen.
One more Vaesen. All right, and then Monday will be the new show, which again I'll let Savvy tell you about. So let's go around and introduce everyone. Let's go ahead and start with Savvy. Who are you? Where can I find you on the internet? And who are you gonna be tonight?
Hello, I'm Savvy. I'm not usually here on Tuesdays anymore, but I am today. I'm at Savvy Seaworth on the internets, mostly on Twitter, where you can find my streaming schedule, which is growing every day. This might be a mistake. Pinned to the top of my Twitter page. I'm here Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and now Mondays, either playing in games or running them. Like Alex mentioned, I run our long-running Sunday game. We've been playing Vaesen. It's a show called Thursday's Children. It's a Nordic horror role-playing game that we are about to, I think, have the finale of. We're about to do the final mystery. And then the Slaying 101 crew will be making a comeback. So coming out with us on Sundays for that. And then yesterday, we had the premiere of our newest show here on the channel. It's called The Forgotten. I also run that one. We're playing Dungeons and Dragons with a bunch of characters from other campaigns whose stories never got told. So it's very fun. We had a great time inventing a town yesterday where the number one source of the entire economy is based on shoes. Is very fun. And yeah, I play in the other stuff that was mentioned on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. I'm also on LB's channel on Sunday nights. So tonight I am playing a character named Miku, who is the protege.
All right, thank you. LB, take it away.
Hi, I'm LB Hackemup. You can find me at LB Hackemup on the Twitters and the Twitches. I am going to be playing Subrina, the Outsider, aka Corvid. You can find me on my channel on Tuesdays, Sundays, and Friday nights. This week we won't have a Sunday night game, unfortunately, because I'll be gone. But yeah, you can find me on all the other stuff. I always retweet when I'm live. I usually retweet when I live. Did not do it for this game. Did not check it. However, if there's anything, you can always tweet at me or whatever. So that's me. I'm talking too much.
You're never talking too much. Hi, I'm Tyler, at Frothy Inferno on Twitter. You can find me periodically here on Tuesday nights on GGameKnights or sometimes on LB streams if she invites me. And I want to play because she does. Otherwise, tonight I'll be playing Flynt, or the Silver Wolf, and he is the Bull playbook.
Hey everybody, I'm Wings, also known as Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com or at Danae Keener on Twitter, where you can find my streaming schedule and all the places that I'm at and all the games that I'm in. Tonight I'm going to be playing as Chloe, also known as Hemlock, and she is the Doomed Playbook.
And that brings it back to me. Hello, I'm Alex Omaji. It's some guy on the internet, mostly on this channel, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and sometimes Saturdays. Also on LB's channel, Sunday evenings in her Masks game. And tonight I'll be playing literally everyone else, as well as our MIA player. You may have noticed we don't have David tonight. Real life stuff has happened, good stuff, but he's busy with that. So Kevin will probably be taking a bit of a backseat today, so our big Chrome bug boy will be around, but he will be otherwise occupied for the most part tonight. All right. I think that about does it for introductions. Gonna do the recap. And then we'll do a little bit of picking back up where we were. Miku will come in very soon. We'll do kind of the who's the protege, what do they do, and that sort of stuff. And then we'll really get into it. So, previously on the Squire squad, we had our two teams. Teams Thoughts Go Zoom and Team Head Empty split up to try and go after Reginald Silverhound, aka Cousin Reggie, Flynt's cousin, who had been told to leave town because he botched a burglary attempt. But the Squire squad caught up with him, cornered him, and Reggie decided that he would rather go down fighting than come quietly. So we had Flynt and Subrina trying to deal with that at Reggie's super yacht at the docks, while Chloe and Kevin went to the airfield, the airport, and tried to stop the Silverhound cargo plane from taking off with, a plane full of evidence. There was a lot of fighting, lots of spectacular power usage. It would get boring for me to just repeat it here. You should go watch the episode, see how people did all that good stuff. But in the end, Subrina and Flynt managed to subdue Reggie and get him to agree to turn state evidence, or whatever the saying is, to snitch on Grandpa Cornelius. And at the airport, Chloe and Kevin wrecked the plane, but did manage to stop it from taking off and from crashing into the airport. But seeing the amount of collateral damage they may have caused, including perhaps excessive force on the crew of the airplane, Chloe decided to flee the scene rather than take responsibility for what happened, abandoning Kevin to kind of handle things himself there. Back at HQ, the team Head Empty had a touching moment together that culminated in a kiss between Subrina and Flynt, just as Chloe returned to witness that moment. Kevin arrived shortly after. Chloe apologized profusely to him. And then you all got a talking to from, I think I said it was Athenas, from one of the paladins, telling you that, yeah, that was kind of messy, but that's what pure work is. It's messy sometimes. And so we'll pick up more or less right there with you've had your official debriefing of the day's events at this point, but you are told before you all split off for the day that Mouseketeer has asked to speak with you all briefly. And so he doesn't want, he says it's nothing major, and just he'll meet you in your locker room. And so as you are there, perhaps changing back into your civilian guises or just waiting around, you see Mouseketeer himself enter, followed by another individual. So, Savannah, could you please describe who they see following closely behind Mouseketeer?
Yeah. So Miku is relatively short. She's probably like 5'2", 5'3". Thin, sort of like a like a dancer's build, so like a little bit lanky. She has sort of long black hair that's in pigtails, and big black fox ears, like vulpine ears. And she is dressed in sort of all black, like black jeans, black boots, black tank top with a choker, and grinning. Is so happy to be here.
Hello, everyone. I'm sure you are tired after today's event, so I will make this brief, and there will be more of a formal introduction later. But this is someone I would very much like you all to meet. This is Miku, using the hero name Kitsune, and she is a bit of a protege of mine. And I would, well, like I said, it would be formalized later, but I would very much like it for you all to help her out. Have her join your squad for now, as it were. She is recently signed up with the Squires, and is, well, let's just say that I know your team has lots of experience with Mouseketeer would have a more delicate way of putting this, but almost people, well, almost humans, I should say. And so I felt that your team would be the best to help Miku get acclimated to superheroing and to being a young person here in Port Arbor. So.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm Subrina. This is Flynt. And then Chloe is there, and we're excited to have you here.
It's very nice to meet you.
Are you the Musketeer's daughter?
No.
Okay.
You see,
I apologize.
Kinda...
You were asking for more information.
If you want.
No. Mouseketeer is my mentor. And friend.
Okay.
Yes. No, Miku is not my daughter, but we have a somewhat similar origin. But she has some of the same abilities as myself. But well, I will leave however much she wants to share with you up to her, but just please know that I would very much appreciate you extending her every courtesy you can.
How much should we tell her about us?
As much as you feel comfortable with.
Okay.
Is she like going to be a new member of our team like permanently, or like...
So that is this thing we are figuring out, because squads typically are about 4 people, and that is kind of where you are. But like I said, she is new, and I felt that your team would be a good way to bring her into the program. And
we're pretty good at picking up new people, right, Chloe?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We haven't... I'm pretty sure she's the first new person since us.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant.
Good at picking ourselves up?
Well, I mean, picking you up. We'll talk about it.
That is an excellent skill to have.
Yes. Flynt is very strong. But yeah, we can show her around town. We could take you. You know what we like to do after we have a really big mission? We usually like to get froyo. Do you want to go get froyo? Do you like ice cream?
I think so.
Okay. We're gonna go do that.
Yeah,
She
sounds
just,
like a good plan.
Staring at Flynt. Have you calculated your bench press?
Not really, no.
Subrina says you are very strong. I would put it at about 338.2 pounds.
Is there a
You should
bench press
try.
nearby?
In the training rooms, there is, exercise equipment, including, special equipment for very strong people.
Flynt finds this very interesting. He's gonna go give it a try.
This is, of course, without supplemental powers.
Like what?
What about with supplemental powers?
I imagine if you pushed yourself, you could break 753 pounds? Perhaps more.
That's a lot. That's like a car. I think.
The average car weighs more than that.
Oh. So like a bike.
If by bike you are referring to what is, well, colloquially known as a bike, if you are referring to as a motorcycle, then yes.
I think so.
Flynt's already over at the rack. He's going at it. Let's break 300 pounds. Let's do this.
So, Miku, where are you from?
That is a complicated question.
I'm an alien from outer space, so we deal with that a lot. We can try to understand.
Well, most simply, I am from a lab.
Oh, like Ego. Ego was our friend. He was a robot that began to think for himself, and he was a pop star. He was really cool. But yeah, he was a robot, was made by people, and not in the made by people way. And then he became real, like a real boy, like Pinocchio from the musical with the guy who's from that show where they do improv.
Yes, that is similar. I was, well, to explain, a computer.
Oh. And now you're not?
That is a complicated question.
You see the big metal bug boy who has been mostly quiet through all this say, so are you some kind of android or cyborg or something?
Not really. Well, I'm 87% human.
That's a pretty precise percentage.
I assumed the decimals would bore you.
Yep.
All right, 320 pounds.
Yay! You did it!
Clanking sound is the
Sabrina was
Like
correct. You are
falls.
very strong.
I guess.
Now, do you want to try for 700? We could have you roll to unleash your powers.
You know what? Why not?
I just make up numbers. I have
Literally.
no idea what's a reasonable amount for you to be able to live.
I have no idea either.
Yep.
Let's try for 700.
You say it with confidence. I'm gonna buy it.
Sabrina's gonna spot, just in case, because that's not a lot for Sabrina.
Aw. He's doing a good job. He's a good
He
boy.
is doing a good job. He's a good boy.
All right, sure. Roll plus freak.
Yep.
Which is 0. Ah.
Okay,
Hey!
so, a mixed success. We're not gonna do the full unleash your powers move, but so, it's, you maybe get a couple reps in with this increased weight. It's not nearly as easy as it was at the first weight amount, but you also don't choke yourself out with it falling down on you.
Yeah, I assume he doesn't go full wolf out form, but gets pretty hairy in the process.
Yep.
Yay! You totally earned extra sprinkles.
Yay! I love sprinkles on my froyo.
Is there anything else you wanted to try, or do you want to go?
Are you asking Flynt?
Yes.
Oh no, he's satisfied.
Okay. Chloe, do you want to see how much you can bench press?
No.
Okay.
Not even a little bit.
Okay. Froyo?
Froyo.
Froyo. Kevin, are you coming?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'll come along. Yeah. Though it's already like at least 7 o'clock at night. It's already dark. Or well, no, I guess it's still light out because it's late spring, getting into early summer at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so he'll tag along for Froyo, which does anyone remember what we called the Froyo place? We have to have called it something.
That's a good question.
That is a good question. Nobody
That
wrote
was-
it down.
I think that was...
I'm looking back through earlier session notes.
Z, do you remember what the Froyo place was called?
Yeah, as you have just binged through this series.
And while we're heading out to Froyo, when it's questioned as to whether or not Kevin will actually come, Chloe starts to say, "Oh, I'll buy your Froyo," remembering that she left him behind the other day, and knowing that she wants to make it up to him.
Mhm.
She's like, "Oh, I'll buy your Froyo," and then realizes that he doesn't eat, and then sort of tapers off towards the end of that, and she's like, never mind.
Okay, so according to chat, the Froyo place doesn't have a name, but the cupcake place did, which is
right.
Fat Cakes. So
Right.
what are we calling the Froyo place? It has been gone to too many times to still be unnamed.
Fro your consideration. Fro your
Wow.
Pretty good
Alright.
one. That's a
Thank
pretty
you.
good one.
That's not bad.
Thank you. I don't know why I thought of it. I'm
And
terrible at that stuff.
I'm not in this game, so we don't have to name it this, but if you need another name for an ice cream place, Uptown Swirl.
Okay.
That's a
You
good
can
one.
have that one for free.
I mean, they're competing, obviously.
Elfie's is
yeah.
better, but I needed to get that thought out of my brain.
What is it? Uptown Swirl?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
That place had 20 different frozen yogurt places. What were they called?
Yeah.
I think
Uh,
Fro your consideration is gonna.
That's very good.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
you all head out to Froyo consideration. It is strongly recommended to you all that you go in your civilian guises,
Mhm.
given how in the spotlight you all were today.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Flynt, you are reassured that your cousin Reggie is being held by the Paladins. They're beginning the process of, getting evidence and information from him, but they also tell you he's going to be kept in protective custody for the moment, and so access to him won't be readily available for at least a little while.
Well, he said he was going to cooperate, so obviously he has to. Otherwise, he'd be lying, and that's not cool. But yeah,
I think the the administrative assistant who isn't telling you this is just kind of like, yeah. Doesn't have the heart to tell you that sometimes bad people lie.
nope, impossible.
If everybody's doing civilian clothes, Miku doesn't change, but out of her, she's got a little messenger bag slung across her shoulder. Out of her bag, she takes out just a big headband and puts it on and just pushes it up right next to her ears.
Aw.
So they look like they're on a headband.
Dig it. I love that.
Yeah. All right. Before we get too much farther, Savannah, please tell us a bit about the protege and what they do.
The protege. So the protege, you've proved yourself to be an experienced hero. They think you've got what it takes. They've been training you for a while, and now you have to decide. Do you want to be them, or will you find your own path? So it's basically what it sounds like. You're the protege of a mentor who is an adult hero in the setting, and you sort of outline your mentor's ability, your own ability, and then an ability that the two of you share. Ostensibly, they've trained you in. There's some fun moves and things like that. Should I say what my powers are?
Yeah. Go
What
for
was
it.
she? So Mouseketeer is her mentor. So out of the list, because we had to make one fit because I picked an NPC.
Well, first of all, what's Mouseketeer's powers aside from being French?
Yeah, so Mouseketeer's powers are
It's just very French.
Yes, extremely French. No, he can turn into a mouse, can control rodents psychically, also has like extreme martial prowess and access to a bunch of weapons. It's been described as he basically has a pocket dimension that he can just pull almost any weapon out of, and he knows how to use them all. He also has a nemesis, the Rat Scallion, with almost the same power set that the first incarnation of the Squire Squad fought previously.
I remember that fool. Yeah, so those are his abilities. Their shared ability is the martial and weaponry prowess. Essentially, he taught her to fight, and she's proficient in basically any weapon that he's proficient in. Unfortunately, she had to pick a couple that she was good at and carry them around because she can't do pocket dimensions like he can. And Miku's ability is that she talks to animals.
Yay! I'm sure that will have to come up at some point.
Yeah, because half of y'all haven't met Hive Mind yet. So, and technically only one person here has, but anyway. So let's see. I don't know that it makes sense for us to do when the team first came together, but and yeah, relationships maybe not so much either, but we can at least do influence, I think.
Okay. So for the protege, so I get to choose my demeanor, playful or business, and I'm gonna pick playful.
Mm-hmm.
Because
yeah,
because all I did was yell at Alex, and I was gonna make a Hatsune Miku joke to make this character. So I choose playful. So I give influence to 2 teammates. I'll give it to Flynt and Subrina because they talked to her the most.
Makes sense. And I'll just remind you all as well, by the game's rules, you can't just give influence to the other players whenever you want. It's taking it away that gets tricky. So if any of you would like to give influence to Miku, you may do so now, or you can wait for a more opportune moment. And while you're thinking about that, what protege moves did you pick? So you kind of know what you can do.
Oh, yes. I took... I'll have to give a little bit of background. So I took be mindful of your surroundings, excuse me, which is when you assess the situation before entering into a fight, you can ask one additional question, even on a miss. Got that from computer brain. And then I took heroic tradition and venting frustration. So these rely on my mentor. So when you make a protege, you have your mentor who's trained you, and you have to pick a label they embody and a label they deny. And I went rogue and picked these based on what I thought Miku's understanding of the situation would be. So I put that the Mouseketeer embodies savior and denies superior. which influences both of these moves. So heroic tradition is when you give someone the advice you think your mentor would give, you can roll plus the label your mentor embodies to comfort and support instead of rolling mundane. So essentially, if I give advice that I think Mouseketeer might give, I can roll savior instead of mundane to comfort them. And then venting frustration is when you directly engage a threat while you're angry, you can roll the label that your mentor denies and clear the angry condition. So essentially, if I'm angry and going to directly engage, I can roll superior, which is much better than my danger.
All right.
So most of mine are essentially just like switching labels around, but I think it's cool.
Gotcha. All right. Very good. Thank you. I think that's all we need to know about the protege for now. So we'll continue. You all head out to throw your consideration.
I want that in real life now, and I'm never
I'm
gonna
so
find
proud
that.
of that.
I'm gonna look that up because if that doesn't exist, that's a business opportunity.
Like
Yeah.
they've got like all of their spoons have the words "be considerate" on it.
Aww.
Just like, because that's their mission statement, is being considerate of other people. I don't know.
I mean, you said it. It exists now. This is the power you wield. Any particular conversations you all would like to have with each other?
So, Miku, if you're like half robot and the Mouseketeer's half mouse, is his other half robot? Or is he like a third robot and a third mouse and a third French?
Or is your
Which
mom
I-
all robot?
Which I just learned is a thing.
I think they're both half human, and that might be the half that they share.
I don't believe that Mouseketeer has any robot parts. Although I've never asked.
Interesting.
I guess we haven't
So-
asked either.
So how did he come about to being your mentor then? Frankie has eaten.
Well, we found ourselves in a dangerous situation together a few years ago and helped each other to survive it. And then he trained me how to fight.
That's
Was
fun.
that before or after you stopped being just a computer?
Well, I suppose it all sort of happened around the same time.
Do you know Ego?
No, but I have seen his videos.
He's great, isn't he?
Yes, he is very talented.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh! Do you even eat?
Yes, this is a human body.
Do you like froyo?
Yes.
I mean, I think it's just okay, but Chloe's lactose intolerant, so she can't actually have ice cream. So we have froyo instead.
That is unfortunate if you like ice cream.
I love ice cream.
Still have ice cream if
How?
you want.
How?
How old is your body?
Calculating.
That is a really weird question.
How long ago?
Well, she's a robot in a human body. I need to know. Where'd the body come from?
Listen,
How
Subrina
long-
always cuts to the core.
man.
She made me spill my entire backstory last time.
Alex, how long have I been in a human body?
Considering we watched Young Frankenstein last night, now I'm just getting a lot of mixed messages.
Well, so you said the thing with Mouseketeer happened a couple years ago, right? But the body maybe was in that lab before and maybe wasn't. See,
Being used.
yeah. It was.
Okay,
Yeah.
that works.
So many more
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah. It's too bad I didn't say any of that out loud.
Nope.
This is looks like she's thinking for a second.
For quick reference, the rest of the squad are nearing the end of their junior year in high school.
No way, you're just a kid.
I suppose, technically, 5 years old? Although,
You're
maturity
just a
level,
kid.
I would place myself around 17.
I guess that
Me
makes
too.
sense.
Well, technically on my planet, I'm like a lot of years old because my planet goes around my sun every 6 Earth days, so it's just like it's all relative.
I mean, it's important to Subrina to know whether or not you're ethically dateable.
Because
Well-
Chloe's
Froyo
really
enough.
looking for someone right now.
I'm not. Thank you.
This human body did not grow the, I think you would say, traditional human way. But for your purposes, yes, technically, to other teens, I am dateable.
Noted.
Important distinction.
So, are you gonna come to school with us tomorrow?
I believe so.
Cool.
Musketeer and
school
I have
tomorrow?
been working for a long time on my training in weaponry and fighting and other things. But those things are easier for me to learn than general human manners and interactions.
Dude, same.
They tend
Why-
to change from human to human, whereas fighting does not.
So the Mouseketeer puts you on a squad with an alien, a bug person, a wolf person, and Chloe, who's the most normal out of all of us.
I
I'm
imagine
normal.
I find you to be exceptionally normal. I
Yes.
imagine the thought process behind it, though I don't like to speak for my mentor, is that you all have had much experience trying to accomplish the learning I am now trying to accomplish.
Oh, do you sleep?
Yes,
Oh.
though I do not enjoy it.
Oh. Do you have to?
Sorry,
Well-
that was a very terrifying thing to say.
Well, for all intents and purposes, this body does need to sleep.
Okay. Because I was going to say that we could stay up tonight and watch like a ton of TV shows that really help me understand human like interactions and like what it's like being a teen on Earth.
Wait, Sabrina, don't you sleep?
I don't have to.
So jealous.
Well, considering I've already eaten like 2 gallons of froyo and had to fight my cousin tonight, I don't think I'm gonna get any sleep. So TV? Sleepover?
Marathon? Chloe?
Okay.
Chloe?
Okay, fine.
You should join us, Chloe. We can discuss the pros and cons list of dating me.
Great.
Pokes Flynt.
I like her. She's direct to the point. She's got moxie.
Just no weird pranks or anything on the first person who falls asleep, okay?
Promise.
Great.
Promise. It's gonna be Flynt. Flynt's gonna be the first one to fall asleep.
Yeah.
Flint, I will tell your mom.
No, don't tell my mom. She'll bark at me.
So we're going back to Sabrina's house. Because Sabrina has a lot of terabytes of totally legally gotten TV shows and stuff. She literally just walks in with everyone and is
So,
like,
hold on. Before you all leave, for your consideration, it's a nice night. You probably were all sitting at one of the tables outside. Miku, you noticed this first. There are bugs around and stuff, but you notice there are a number of ants that are crawling on the table, and they seem to be going kind of in a line, maybe to a drop of spilled froyo, but that's what you think at first. But then they divert from that and start marching in formation and begin to spell out the letters hello in front of you.
Hello.
And
Hello.
through your animal speaking sense, you start to hear a voice that says, hello, you are new and far easier to communicate with.
Yes, my power set allows for me to speak to animals, insects, and most other creatures that humans cannot.
Miku, are you talking to your Froyo?
No, there are some ants here.
Okay, follow-up question. Miku, are you talking to those ants?
Yes, it is polite to say hello when someone new joins the table.
That's very true. That's very true. What are they saying?
They said hello, and that I am much easier to speak to than most.
Yep. There are more and more ants showing up. Subrina, some make their way over to you and say hi. And some more kind of just, regular flies start showing up on the table. They don't land on anyone. They kind of land like, let's say it's a round table. They land a bunch in a row between some of you, and then they start vibrating their wings. And it takes a second as it's kind of like, almost like tuning a radio dial. And then this is a new experience for everyone except Subrina and Kevin, but Miku, you kind of already get this through your animal sense. Why did I just mute myself? What purpose was that going to do? But you all hear in the vibrations of the wings, hello.
It's going to cover his Froyo.
Is this... Are you a hive mind?
Yes, this is the hive mind.
He's a bug guy. Not like Kevin is a bug guy, but like...
But like a good bug guy or a bad bug guy?
He hasn't done anything bad yet.
Okay, so we don't know yet.
I was concerned that the bugs on Earth had learned to talk since I last checked. That would be quite the development.
Hello. What's up?
Some of you are new. What happened to the old ones?
Well, one went back to Korea. One started a pop career. And the other one, I can't think of something that Mai would do. Where did I go? She went back.
No one knows.
She just disappeared one.
Danny phantomed into the ether and just never reappeared.
She went
to the ghost
she never
realm.
came back.
She was banished to the shadow realm.
Oh God!
It's alright. She still writes.
Card game.
You see the flies kind of rearrange themselves the flies do what you kind of interpret as like the communication dancing that bees do. And you gather that this is like hive mind thinking to itself before they like rearrange themselves into their line and start communicating with you again. Interesting. This is much information to digest. I wish to speak with you more later, but later. And
All right.
What do you want, bug guy?
to learn.
Be nice to the bug guy.
They say to
half
learn,
of
and
bug guy
then
is
the
good for my
flies
garden.
disperse and the ants go back to doing ant things and just get the froyo.
About half of bug guy is good for my garden, but the other half is very, very bad. I don't know how to feel about him.
Maybe he just wants to go to school.
And he could just go to school.
There is bugs in school.
That's true.
Look at Kevin. Kevin's doing great in school.
Kevin is.
Yes, but I also started as a human. I don't know. we don't
You
know.
started as a human?
Yes.
You just blew Flint's mind. Are you still in there? Bung, bung, bung.
Clank, clank, clank. No. Now I'm kind of just goo in here.
We switched bodies. It's super weird. No offense. It's cool. It's just like...
I mean, we had this conversation before. It's whatever, but
You all have a very different sense of what is considered polite than what I was taught.
Well, we're what we do consider close friends. So, like, you can be more open with people when you're really, like, know them. Like, I wouldn't tell just anyone that I'm, an alien. But we're friends. And you're, like, a superhero, so, like, it's okay if you know.
Don't turn evil, haha.
But anyway,
Awkward silence for sure.
Doesn't respond.
But we don't know that there's a person on the other end of Hive Mind. Like, that's what we've been assuming.
That's true.
But I mean, there's lots of stuff out there that could be anything. I mean, there's still that shadow thing that was at the Spring Fling.
Hate that thing.
Same.
Yeah. That sounds like a problem for later, though. We have a marathon to get through.
What are we gonna watch?
Subrina the Teenage Witch, obviously.
Okay, I'm in.
Wait, is that what you... Never mind.
Kind of. I mean, mostly. They called me Subject 34682. So I just... And then they called me Sub. And then I just changed it to Subrina. That's why it's spelled weird.
Gotcha.
A clever pun.
Flint is
Thank
learning
you.
so much about his friends today.
Okay, let's go.
As you make your way over to Sabrina, Kevin will just briefly ask Miku, so has Mouseketeer told you anything about CERN?
Oh, I'm so proud of you for remembering that.
Has he?
He has never mentioned
I've never
CERN.
mentioned it. I didn't think so.
Oh.
No.
Huh. Okay.
Should I ask him?
No, I already asked his assistant to ask him, and I think he might get annoyed if I push too hard.
A fair assessment. Though Mouseketeer is not easily annoyed.
Yeah, I think that's why they make him our handler so often.
Are you annoying?
Not me individually, but us collectively, you'll see.
Thank you.
Sure. Sure thing. You'll continue on to Sabrina's for movie night, TV night, teen talk. Anything we want to play out there, or?
I mean, all I know for sure is that Flint definitely falls asleep first.
Yeah.
Like, he has a hard sugar crash.
So we binge Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
We'll do Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and then Pretty Little Liars. Like a few episodes of that, and then we'll do... What's another good one?
This is like years in the future too, so like we're pulling out classics from
Yeah,
like our
classics.
parents generation.
I think maybe even Young Justice.
Ah.
The reboot that they made. You know, like 10 years in our future. That was even better than the original.
Right.
A couple Teen Titans in there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Original, not the comedy.
Not
Of
Teen
course.
Titans Go.
No, the reboot that like where in the world where Teen Titans Go was actually a continuation of the original Teen Titans.
Oh, gross.
Anyway, So,
I think
anyway.
after everyone falls asleep, Subrina is going to go downstairs and fiddle with her her communications device and see if she can get in contact with her planner if there's any messages.
Yeah, so I think you go and it's essentially you get a loading screen. Like there is some kind of transmission coming through, but because of the we talked before, there's the wormholes and the stuff and the different methods of data transfer that your planet does and Earth does. It's taking a while to parse what the transmission is. But you do know that your planet has sent something back.
Yay! She'll spend the night working on that until the morning. Yep. And she'll make breakfast for everyone. A very hearty breakfast of pancakes and French toast.
Flynt finds someone to cuddle with.
Okay, well now this is important. Who is the cuddly?
Well, Sabrina's up checking her messages. So it's either Miku, Chloe, or Kevin?
Yep.
Chrysalis? Kevin, yeah.
Make it Kevin, please.
Gotta be Kevin.
So it's gotta be Kevin.
Chloe knows better.
Like, yeah, Chloe, he started to try and cuddle, and she's like, no.
Just gets up and leaves.
So next closest, biggest thing, Kevin. Anyway, that happens.
Yep. I'm just noting this down because it will, history must be recorded. And in the morning, Subrina makes everyone breakfast. Oh, Zoom just asked me if I'm playing music. What is that? Anyway, I don't think that's a thing we need to worry about. So, with that handled, I think we can say that time is going to pass. So, kind of the homebrew rule we've been doing, you can clear one condition if you wish. If you have any you need to clear or not, up to you. But we are going to kind of, time is going to pass quite a bit, actually. So it had been, early, middle spring, but we are going to go through the end of the school year. So Miku, you'll attend classes, and you're almost immediately thrust into finals as the end of the school year is approaching. So you all can decide how well you do on finals, how much studying that takes, or if it's easy peasy, lemon squeezy for you all.
Surprisingly, like math and science, Subrina, amazing at. Anything else, terrible. She passes.
Mm-hmm.
Not great.
I think Flynt's a pretty, C/B student. Not amazing, but also he's not, bad at anything. Even math or science, you think the jock doesn't really know what he's doing, but he can do pretty well.
I want to say that Chloe is typically a straight A sort of student, but this year her grades start to slip a little bit because she's been doing so much moonlighting and solo hero work.
Gasp.
So
what's solo hero work?
She's got some bees.
Not bees.
Oh, it's like, she got bees? Why did she get bees? There's a bee?
There's a bee?
That's my other character.
But having come from a household where bees were, I understand how that might be going at Chloe's home. But the year ends, the seniors graduate, and you all realize, oh heck, you're the big dogs on campus now.
I'm in charge.
Flynt is now the biggest dog on campus.
This guy. Hey, question as the school year's ending. Actually,
Yes.
several. So I guess will we resolve family matters later?
Yes. So as it's a couple months that we're doing here. You keep checking in to get updates on what's going on. For the first month or so, you still can't go see Reggie. You're told that he's, still held at, a location secured by the Paladins. They're still talking with him, learning what he knows, vetting the information, etc., etc. You do get some of that information passed to you, and there is, what you are told and learn is that your family and your grandpa are very good at covering their tracks. And even with Reggie telling the Paladins what to look for and stuff, it's all, circumstantial. There's very little hard evidence they can get to tie the rest of the family to any potential wrongdoings. But they are still pursuing leads. They haven't given up. They're like, well, no, he's just too untouchable. He's too good at covering his tracks.
I think also importantly, Flynt is going to try and avoid any interactions with his grandpa during this time. So unless grandpa specifically calls for him multiple times or something, he's just kind of staying on the outskirts of the family property, trying to stay at other people's houses more often.
LB, you have something?
Well, I have a question. So Subrina and Flynt are gonna go steady.
Mm-hmm.
Are my parents?
Are your FBI parents?
My FBI parents are I feel like they don't really have much say over what I do, as far as if I'm like, yeah, Flynt's gonna stay here for a while. That they do, but she's like, oh yeah, no, this is fine.
Yeah, I think, you tell me if this is what Danae and Tyler, Sabrina's parents, would do. But
right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think one of them, when you mention this, they kind of just look at each other. They go back to doing what they were doing, probably reading the paper, cooking breakfast, and one of them just says, make sure you're safe. If you need money for condoms, let us know.
And Sabrina's like, I don't think it works like that, but okay.
Flynt probably comes up with excuses for why he's not staying at home as often. Usually he'll say he's hanging out with Chloe, and sometimes he'll say he's hanging out with Subrina. But I don't know if he tells his parents that he's dating anyone yet.
Yeah, and so getting back to the grandpa question, I think actually very early on in the, very shortly after Reggie's apprehended, Grandpa Cornelius does ask that you come speak with him. So he asks, do you go?
No. He's
Okay.
sick that day. And, Grandpa's an old man, so, you don't want to spread the disease around.
Sure. Okay, so
Turn out to be sick every single day that Grandpa wants to talk to you.
Yep, just sick as a dog.
Sorry, I have a track meet that day.
Yep, so I think there are a few requests, but we'll say for now Flynt is able to keep denying them, though I think your parents mentioned that Grandpa Cornelius really would like to talk with you, son.
I'm just school's been so busy, and I'm trying to get good grades this year because next year's senior year, and I've got to get thinking about college and everything. But just coming up with excuses.
And they, given again kind of your dad's disposition, especially towards the family business, he covers for you more often than not. So
Yay, Dad.
yeah, so we'll leave things there for now. So Subrina is dating Flynt. He's sleeping over more often than not. What else are people getting up to in the first few weeks of summer?
Remind Danae,
Mm-hmm.
who is Wings, remind me why Kevin wants to know about CERN. It's because, like, his dad's involved in it, right?
I think it was more from something Subrina said. Like, Subrina arrived on Earth at CERN,
Gotcha.
and there was some offhand comment that made him think that, like, the French government is hiding a lot more.
Yeah. It's the whole Area 51 thing.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
so he was like, oh shit, I gotta take notes about the French.
Yeah.
I think
Dastardly
that
French.
I think that Chloe spends the beginning of her summer by she's still moonlighting hero work, but she's trying to be a whole lot more careful about it to make sure she doesn't get caught. She's also beginning to do some homework on her condition, like specifically just taking like blood samples and like sticking them under a microscope and like trying to like just do some basic research on her own disease and trying to see if she can make any breakthroughs there.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me plus superior. Let me look at the questions for assess the situation and see if we want to use any of those. So we'll just kind of do a general progress roll with this.
Alright. Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, so you do get to mark potential for a 3.
Alright.
But yeah, it's, you know that you should look at blood under a microscope to learn stuff, but you don't know what you're looking for. Like,
Yeah.
maybe you think sometimes out of the corner of your eye, a blood cell will be green, but then you like refocus and no, it's just blood. It's, as far as you can tell, everything's normal.
Alright.
Okay. Anything else with the start of summer? For Chloe specifically.
That's about it. She's like, I want to say that she spends her summers trying to crack this nut, and she has ever since she's been old enough to kind of understand exactly what's going on. So yeah, she's like, as far as this goes, this is just kind of like old hat tradition.
Yep.
Subrina did offer to help with stuff. Do you rope her in on anything?
I think that at the moment she's too. I'm not gonna clear guilty until I do get a chance to like do something for Kevin, for better or for worse. I think that she's still caught up in thinking about that.
Sure. Okay. Let's see. So Sabrina's kind of been loosely involved with what's been said so far. What else does Sabrina do? I will say the message from your home planet eventually finishes processing, and it's basically a message from your parent that says, the gist of it is, child of mine, pleased and relieved to know you are alive and safe. Transit to the soul system, extremely difficult. Even data is tricky. Messages sparse. please continue updating, investigating options. Love.
Subrina reads it over and over and over again, and she reads it to everyone over and over and over again. But she will send a message back, giving them an update on what this planet is like, and everyone here pretty much stays exactly the same all the time. It's so weird. That sort of thing. And this so slow, the seasons. Oh my god. Well, actually, they didn't have seasons on her planet, but they go around their sun so slowly.
Yeah, but it is going to be weeks before you get any kind of reply. Anything else Subrina gets up to at the start of summer?
I feel like Subrina, in her downtime, gets a job at the mall because she feels like that's something that she should do. So
Okay.
maybe she works at I was gonna say a froyo place, but I'm thinking more maybe a cute toy shop, something like that. No, she works at Hot Topic. What am I thinking? Of course, she works at Hot Topic.
Of course, yeah. Come on.
She's that pastel goth cutie in there that just wants to help everyone.
Yep. Sales tend to go up when Sabrina's working that day.
Very persuasive.
Yep. All right. Let's see. Miku, what are you getting up to?
I think Miku gets up to a lot. These are the people she's been introduced to, so she will just hang out with whoever will hang out with her. I think over time, I think she shows up at the mall a lot when Subrina is working, because now she's watched all this teen TV, and so she wants to try out. I think every couple of weeks, she's trying out a whole different style. So she just goes to the mall and just gets a couple of just very very sort of stereotypical outfits for one specific style, and then just goes to Hot Topic and is trying them on and asking Subrina what she thinks. I don't think she settles on anything. I think she probably ultimately just kind of settles on what she was doing before, which is black, because it's easy to wear and it doesn't.
And
show
you don't
blood.
have to worry about. Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't show the animal hair that you get on it constantly, but blood too.
I imagine they have that conversation and it's awkward. I think she does stuff like that. Just tries a lot of different things. But she spends the majority of her time, and I think the more time you spend with her, the more obvious this becomes. But she spends a lot of time, as much time as she can, with Musketeer, even though he's busy, but then doing her own research and stuff, because Miku has a little bit of a memory problem where she has some memory holes, or there are certain things that she just always forgets and has to relearn again for whatever reason. So she's trying to fix that.
Is it the same thing over and over again, or is it random things will just get deleted? And
it's mostly the same things. There's probably I think, but it's random stuff because she knows a ton of stuff and she's got internet brain. But they're just holes that pop up in places. There are certain people that she just can't remember their name for anything, and is basically reintroduced to them every time, or just random stuff like that.
Would you say that her standards are higher because she's a computer? She feels like she should be able to remember more things, but she's been shunted into this flawed mortal body, and now she can't remember everything that she would have been able to if she was still like this hyper computer like internet brain.
Yeah, you could say that. For sure.
All right.
Okay. I've got a couple questions for Miku. One, how much is there anything that happens with the Miku and Chloe should date thing that was posed the first night they met?
I have no idea.
I'm gonna. It's nothing against Miku, but like the moment, like it was the worst way to get her to want to hang out with Miku.
Yep.
It's like the moment it was dating was involved. It was like, all right, now I can never see you again.
Looks like we can't be friends. Oh well.
Looks like we can't be friends. But I do want to say that like at some point, like there's probably a like, I don't know, they get like put together in a group project or something like that, and then like it turns out that Chloe just like really, really does like Miku because like she makes sense to her.
I like to think that Miku at some point asks like Subrina or like Flynt like why Chloe's avoiding her, and then is like, oh, and so it sort of gives like a stilted sort of apology of like, I've been told that I now understand the implications of dating at your age. I apologize.
I don't think Flynt understands the implications of dating at her age.
Yeah.
I think she apologizes though, in her own way.
Okay. Chloe tries not to be weird about it, but she's not. I don't think she's capable of not being weird about it. She's like, no, it's not your fault. It's not. Things are. I don't want to date anyone.
This is perfectly valid and acceptable.
Great. Just so long as that's clear. I gotta get Subrina to understand that.
She is very focused on the dating aspect of interpersonal relationships.
Yeah, it's more important to some people than it is to others.
Yes, I'm learning this.
Subrina, would you have told Miku about the kiss bet with Chloe thing?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I
so
think
not
that
that
she
open.
Yeah, no. That's not a story that, I mean, that's not something that Subrina, it's not hers to tell, along with like why, because it would have to be like, this is why that is a thing, and that's not she knows that that's not something she should tell.
Sure. I said I had a second question for Miku. We'll get to that, but because that's going to be a good cliffhanger for our break, I'll briefly just explain. Kevin's kind of around, but you find that he is mostly involved, has too many implications. But often when he is busy, he says he is catching up with a childhood friend. And so that is, that's all I'll say for now, because I'm not going to put too many words in David/Kevin's mouth, but that is where he is a lot of this summer. And so,
Can I say one more thing that Miku does before we get to the other thing?
Mm-hmm.
I think she gets really into vaping.
All right.
No.
I think it's a lot of different like flavors and fun things, but she doesn't have to eat, because I don't know that she enjoys eating that much, other than like for the taste of things that she enjoys. I think the process of eating, she's like, ugh, this is just takes up a lot of time that I could be doing other things. So I think she gets really into vaping.
Okay.
Who would she tell about? Chloe. She would tell Chloe when she discovered vaping. She's reading stereotypes onto everybody, and Chloe's the one that she thinks would appreciate this.
Chloe's the one who would be into vaping. I'm not gonna lie, I had the thought earlier. It was all like, if anybody here has a secret pot garden, it's Chloe.
Well, what is it, like the Fulton Our Stars thing, where like He smokes because
It's a
he's
metaphor.
it's a metaphor. I don't light it.
Metaphor.
You put the killing thing between your teeth, but you don't give it the power to kill you. It's a metaphor. And she's like, I think I'm in love.
I hate teenagers.
Don't we all?
Yeah. And yet we're playing a game to be teenagers. Anyway, so there's that. The other thing that probably takes up some of Miku's time this summer is you keep getting communications from, let me double check the name I chose. Dr. From a Dr. Hibble.
Never mind.
Who you know who this is and what they want. How much are you trying to avoid working with them, or are you going along with things given what you know of the situation?
I think she's at the point where she's trying to make it seem like she's working with them. It's sort of a like, she'll put it off for a bit. Like if she receives communication from them, like put it off for like a little bit, like, a day or two. And then answer them and try to like, I think she tries to like work it out in her head, almost like mathematically, like what can I, like, how much can I say that's enough?
Mm-hmm.
Get you off my back. Don't want to talk to you.
Yep.
I think she's trying as best she can to kind of like hit a middle ground, like essentially like check the boxes enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And for now, it seems to work. You get some messages that are like, you better have more for me next time, or sometimes they seem mollified. Other times you definitely get a like, oh, you aren't doing enough. And, what they're asking each time is increasing. But on that ominous note, I think that is a good time for us to take our break. So thank you everyone for sticking with us so far. Lots of people hanging out in chat. Love to see it. We are gonna take 5 to 10 minutes to refresh ourselves. You should do the same. Get some water, take your meds, stretch, snacks, etc., all that stuff that you should do. Go do it. We're gonna do it too, so we're not just, being hypocrites. But we will see you again very shortly. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, Internet. We're back. We hope you are too. If you're watching on the VODs, you probably just paused. If you're here live, listen to the sounds of my voice and return to your devices. Come consume the content. Anyway, thank you for sticking with us. We are ready for some more masks, and we hope you are too. So we had then, we're in summer now. Y'all are on your summer break between junior and senior year in college. Talked a little bit about what y'all were getting up to in your personal lives. Now let's talk a bit about what's happening in your hero lives. So, this is the thing you all have kind of been trying to not think about so much, given what it could mean, but there are more reports of Mr. Master getting closer and closer to Port Arbor. And accordingly, the main sort of villain groups in town are amping up their various levels of activity. So you are in your various patrols and such, you are stopping more and more what seem like, low-life street-level thugs who have very high-tech weaponry that they have acquired from the Foundry. And, you've even been involved in... Here, I should change the music, because let's do the suspenseful music. You've even been involved in a couple busts of perhaps some of their warehouses, but you never really quite find, their main base, their main production or anything. And it still seems like there's more and more stuff getting out on the streets. You aren't able to do so much with this, but you hear that Whisper, the hacking group, has been just causing mayhem in, a lot of businesses, electronic records. There was even a brief financial scare where they decided to set, they simultaneously erased everyone's credit card debt, but then put everyone $1 million in debt. And so they have just been screwing with things all over the place. And so again, I don't think any of you except maybe Kitsune could deal with cyber threats to that degree, but that is something that you have been informed of in your Squire updates. There's also the warehouse, which is the group known for alien technology. They seem to have been relatively quiet, but there are also an increased number of drones that are seen flying around the city. Meanwhile, in sort of villainous business closer to home, Flynt, you finally get word that there is some actionable things that Reggie has provided, and you start to learn that some of your other family members are finally being, questioned and interviewed, and it's, they're not, yes, they're still immediately lawyering up, but they're not able to just hand wave away. And so it seems like perhaps the Silverhound family is no longer entirely above the law. It's also around that time that the request from your grandfather to meet with you stop.
Right. Yeah. This is concerning, but I think Flynt is kind of just trying to ride it out and distance himself from any family gatherings, not go to any big events. He only talks with his parents, and will sometimes mention that, hey, when are we gonna move away from the family mansion, and there's probably some better places in town we could live that I'd be closer to school or something.
Yeah, and your parents are talking about that, but the major portion of their funds, which are family funds, are often it's not like they're entirely frozen, but accessing the funds and making use of them is proving to be trickier than it otherwise would be. And so, you're still staying at the very nice house while it is still available, while your parents are working on other solutions.
Of course.
Yep. You're also told that if you wish, you could go and speak with Reggie now. Only if you wish. Otherwise, you can just leave the Paladins to keep doing what they're doing.
I think he'd want to watch an interrogation, but I don't know if he wants to actually talk to Reggie.
Okay.
He's interested in learning what type of information Reggie's giving, straight from his mouth, but I think he's kind of worried about talking directly with Reggie.
Okay. So yeah, you are allowed to sit in on one, and it's a setup of the classic setup of you're behind a one-way glass. He's in a room. He's got silver handcuffs on, and someone comes in, and you hear someone, or the interviewer, which does not seem like it's a super powered hero, but it's one of the actuaries, functionaries within the Paladins and the legal system at large, comes in, and we'll just kind of do the highlights, but you do Reggie will start with saying, "What, we're back in a cell? I thought we'd moved on to, sort of a house arrest deal. Why am I back here?" And then he takes a second and sniffs, and then he turns to look at the mirror. "Steele, that you over there?" Okay. And he'll kind of lean back and relax a little bit. And, most of this interview is just reconfirming information, saying, okay, we followed these leads. This is what we found. What do we need to do next? And he's, sometimes mentioning specific family members. Sometimes he's saying, this is how the family business operated in these ways. They've probably changed it now that they know that he is cooperating with the authorities. But he seems extremely cooperative, if a bit bored and done with the whole thing at this point. But he does also keep kind of glancing at the glass, but he doesn't specifically address you any other way for the rest of that interview.
Cool. I think Flynt got what he wanted out of that.
Yeah. You do also, one comment towards the end is, as the person's getting up to leave, Reggie asks, "So when's my next date in court?" And the person sits back down, and you get the sense that sometimes Reggie is just held in a paladin's facility. Sometimes he does have to make an appearance at the courthouse and is ferried to and from by, police officers, some kind of guards to help get him there so that he can put things on the public record, as it were.
Interesting. I think Flynt is going to inquire what the security, is the security for those court appearances pretty good? He doesn't know what the rest of his family might be up to.
Sure. You are told that certainly for some of his first court appearances, there were some interesting incidents that befell some of the dummy vehicles that were sent, because they figured something might happen. And so it's, there are multiple, armed or armored vehicles sent out that take different routes. And, along the way, some of them were waylaid. They've thus far always been able to get Reggie there. There were a couple close calls, but the Reggie's still in custody, still cooperating, still safe. But they're hesitant to share too many details with you, but you get the sense that there are at least 2 guards with him at all times. And you also know that, the courthouse has its own set of defenses. And so once they're there, it's, it would take a very serious heavyweight to do anything there, something that you don't think your family's capable of fielding.
Sure. All right. No. Yeah. Good. I think that that alleviates some of Flynt's concerns.
Yeah. Okay. Any of the rest of you have any reactions or things you want to do in response to this increased villain activity?
Yes. Can Subrina get her hands on any of the alien tech?
So, I'm trying to think what... So, how would you attempt to go about this? Because there are the drones flying around. That seems to be, as much as you can tell, and I will say, given who and what you are, you know that the drones aren't just like the run-of-the-mill, consumer drones, that they are.
Yeah.
But they also, for the most part, seem to be evading any attempts to capture them.
Okay, so none of their weapons were captured or anything like that?
Yeah, and just a clarification, the warehouse does alien tech, not just weapons, so sometimes weapons, but all sorts of alien technology. But so would you like to attempt to get one of these drones, or?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Do you think you have a move specifically for it, or is this just going to be one of the basic moves?
I do have alien tech as one of my moves.
Mhm.
So I probably could use. Maybe I'll take a something like a targeting software, like a human alien or human like targeting software,
Mhm.
and place it in my my watch thing, my armband that has my alien tech in it, and I will like fly around and like get one of them out of the sky, basically, like find out where it is with the tech, and then
Mhm.
do it that way. So that would be freak.
Yes, I believe so.
That is a 6.
Okay.
Marking my potential.
Yeah, so on a miss, the device works, but it has a completely unintended side effect that the GM will reveal when you use it. Okay, I think I have an idea for the side effect. I don't know that it's going to do anything right away.
Oh, good. What could go wrong in taking someone else's technology home with me?
Mhm.
Sounds like everything's working perfectly.
Everything's coming up, Subrina.
So you do manage to get one of the drones. It seems like they're just doing surveillance. And reporting back, and you would have to do a lot more forensic work on it, but it seems like they are setting up some kind of a surveillance network over the city.
Okay, that's she will inform the squires.
Okay.
I think she'd hand it over too. Like, she'd like tinker with it for a while and then hand it over. Like, she's not gonna keep it secret or anything.
Most of our patrols and missions have just been like dealing with lower level threats, right? But there is kind of like this overarching fear of like a bigger threat coming, right?
Yes. So as a reminder, Mr. Master is kind of the big bad in certainly the country. He is nigh unstoppable and only seems to, in any direct conflicts, the only hero who has been able to stop him is Omna, who is the overall head of the Paladins. And so yes, there are these reports of Mr. Master getting closer to Port Arbor, but Omna is always not too far behind. And there's only been one recent encounter between them. Please hold while I parse American geography. Thank you, American public education system. Up in one of the mountains in the Rocky Mountains, but away from any civilization, there are some flashes seen in the night, and in the morning, a chunk of the mountain is missing.
Terrifying.
Yep. So, but yes, for the most part, you all are still mostly just handling the low-level stuff. More serious, more dangerous threats are handled either by knights or paladins. But it is basically all hands on deck. And you see Kevin mostly for your patrols and stuff as well. Kitsune is still with you all. You gather there hasn't been time to reassign her, resort her into, 4-person teams. So You all are often running with 5, or sometimes Kevin is unavailable, and so you are left with the 4. And you get the sense that the paladins are curious what's going on there, but they, again, everyone is very busy. They can't quite, follow up on that at the moment.
Chloe 100% internalizes that he's avoiding her.
Good to know. Let me just write that down. The GM will remember this, but only if he writes it down.
I mean, fair enough, man. At least you're writing it down during the game. Like every game that I run, like I'll run it, and then like the night, like as soon as everyone leaves, I have to like quickly type everything down. It does
All
You
not.
guys are
work.
writing stuff down?
All of my
You're a
GM
guest.
notes are very cryptic and just wind up on like crumpled up post-it notes. Like this one says fix Gollum, and I don't know what that means.
Is that for 4 keeps?
No, that's for Rime of the Frost Maiden. Sorry, distractions.
Nope, no,
Sorry.
I mean, that gave me time to finish taking down notes.
For that meme. I'm the last guy to find. Wait, you guys are getting
Yeah,
notes?
I gotcha. I gotcha.
Gotcha. Anyway, so it has been like this for a while. You all are starting to run a bit ragged because you're not really able to get nights off, but they also, at least it's summer, and so they're not taking you away from school mostly. And so,
What summer sports are there that are interrupted by Flynt having to run off to?
this requires Alex to know when sports seasons are.
Yes, the sports
I don't know,
seasons.
volleyball?
Ooh,
There's
he
lots of volleyball.
definitely plays shirtless beach volleyball.
Swim team?
Swim team.
Yeah.
He
We
only
are.
doggy paddles, so.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy.
I think there's
Tennis.
some baseball in the summer.
Yep,
Yeah.
baseball, sure.
Football they do in the summer, like
I
for
mean, yeah.
training and stuff.
For training, but he diversifies his sports, so he never does any training camps.
Yeah.
Bowling.
Bowling. That's just for leisure, man.
Yeah.
Sorry
Alright.
to interrupt you again.
Nope. That is fine, but so
Oh,
it's
rowing. Sorry,
yeah,
go
it's,
on.
Things are getting a bit hectic, but it's it's just a day in the middle of summer when you get the summons to spring into action. And as you are all heading in, those of you with news alerts on your devices, it's just boop, 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 boop. There's just things happening all over the place. It seems like for whatever reason, everyone in town has decided, all the villains have decided this is when to act up. Everyone's doing things. Your dispatch, you don't even get any of the, not even a knight to tell you what to do. It's one of the civilian employees at Paladins who's directing you all. Squires, and they are clearly very flustered, and they attempt to start giving you some directions.
Just point us where we need to go.
Okay. Please head to. They start can just go northwest because you all have mustered in the Kirby craft and are flying over the city. They start directing you, and the poor guy's trying to do a stream of consciousness of things to do. And it's like, okay, they started out of town at the dairy farm, and then they came through, and then she hit Uptown Swirl, and Squire Squad, please go to Throw Your Consideration. That seems to be where the villain is headed.
Who's the
Those
villain?
It reports say that it is it's the milkmaid.
That fiendish, devilish.
And
How
so,
could they?
As you
No
are
time for insults, Star. We gotta get going.
All right, Pookie, let's go.
Oh no. Oops. Gonna just put a marker for pet name so we can get that later.
Hemlock gags.
Looks directly at Chloe, I guess, to ask. I was under the impression their hero names were different.
Nope. Those aren't hero names.
Have they both chosen a third name?
That's affectionate name calling between partners.
Humans
And-
are much more complicated than I anticipated.
Oh, so much more complicated.
And just to clarify, Kevin was also called to muster, but wasn't around. You have not been able to reach him today. So you are going in sans Chrysalis.
We're just gonna have to go in without him.
But as you begin heading to For Your Consideration, you get a kind of dossier on the milkmaid, who is, and I even thought about this, I meant to look up what the actual names for the outfit are, but basically it's a supervillain, a woman who the more dairy she consumes, the stronger she gets.
Oh God.
My fucking dream state. Sorry.
But, looks like the, stereotypical milkmaid outfit of that white bonnet, got, blonde pigtails, a frilly dress of sorts, but given that she has started at a dairy farm and then hit up Uptown Swirl, the ice cream place, you imagine she is, more or less the size of the Hulk now. But the outfit is stretchy and accommodates, because we're not going to do a bunch of ripped off clothing on y'all are still underage. We don't need to add, indecent exposures to this villain's list of
I'm not
crimes.
sure. No, I watched a lot of Riverdale. It's a joke for the 3 people out there who've been watching Riverdale.
Yeah. But
I have not. I am sorry. I wanted to.
Well,
The
it's
Goblin
inappropriate
King.
for the age of the children who are on the show.
Well, it's perfectly appropriate for a 17-year-old to open a speakeasy. I mean,
maybe
Anyway, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go fight the milkmaid.
Yep. So you zoom over to throw your consideration. Thankfully, it's still intact, and so you start working backwards and flying towards Uptown Swirl. And after a couple of minutes, you see some dust clouds popping up every so often. And then once you see those, you see leaping tall buildings in a single bound. The milkmaid just flying through the air in great, powerful leaps before smashing back down, forming craters on the street. And so you see her beginning to leap, and she is getting closer to throw your consideration. What would you all like to do?
I mean, I want to intercept her in one of her leaps. Like,
yeah.
tell Corvid to maneuver the Kirby craft so I can jump out and tackle her down.
All right, so before we get into this, I think it's time that we do the enter battle against a dangerous foe as a team. So please pull up the adding team to the pool handout. We are going to need to decide on a team leader. So who is going to be the leader for this encounter?
Subrina again?
Yeah, I mean, Sabrina's kind of the de facto leader. Bigger.
So, Sabrina's the leader. Also, you all, because time passed, I reset the team pool, but because we started the session, I added one, so the team pool starts at 2.
Okay.
Entering battle against dangerous foes of the team, you add 2 to the pool. If the leader has influence over every teammate, add another team.
I do.
All right, so y'all are up to 5. If everyone has the same purpose in the fight, add another team.
Stop the milkmaid.
We can't let her destroy for your consideration.
Yep, so y'all are up to 6. If any team member mistrusts the leader or the team, remove a team.
I don't think we... Nope.
Okay. Zoom was behind a window, so I didn't see you all presumably shaking your heads. And is your team ill-prepared or off-balance?
No. We know
All
enough
right.
about
I mean,
her and about the situation, right?
We got the
got
basic
briefed.
information, right?
Mm?
Yeah.
Listen, she gets stronger with milk, and we're protecting a froyo place. That's all we need to know.
Yep. And there is one other thing that you know about the milkmaid's power set. She is lactose intolerant. And so, Chloe, knowing that you are lactose intolerant, you realize she is going to be able to sense that and is going to come for you specifically.
Oh no. Wait, what does being lactose intolerant mean?
She
She's
doesn't tolerate...
She does not tolerate people
being
who are
lactose
lactose intolerant.
And she can sense that?
Yep.
Oh boy.
So, I believe that puts you all at 6 team in the pool, which is a lot.
Actually, because I have the captain move, we get another
Ooh.
one.
Excellent. All right. So
Now
y'all
let's see if
have
we can use them all.
y'all have a buttload of team. So we'll see how this do. So, what is the plan to engage and intercept Milkmaid?
Sorry, the music changed. I wasn't ready. I
Ask
think
a
the
question.
Yes.
What time is it?
It is. It's 10 a.m. ish. It's an early morning. The villains got a head start today.
Okay.
Oh, what day of the week is it?
Gotta know if it's a discount day at the Froyo place.
I'm gonna roll a 1d7. It's a Sunday.
There's gonna be people there on Sunday morning.
Yep.
Yep, probably. But they didn't interrupt Saturday morning cartoons, so that's all that I care about.
Good to know.
Yeah, so well, I guess while plan making is happening, Kitsune would just sort of pipe up while Flynt, I guess, is getting ready to jump out of a spaceship. Say, shall I do some recon? I'm sure there are people in the shop who should be removed.
That's a good idea. Flynt, try and stop her. I'll park this over so that Chloe and I can cut her off. And then I'll join you.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So
Aye, Captain.
Flynt's going to intercept. Miku's going to protect the people at the Froyo place, and Hemlock and Corvid are going to form a blockade.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
We do that.
All right. And there have been some chat redemptions because we turned on the store items from way back in that very first one shot. But so a +1 forward to Flynt. So +1 on your next roll that you want to use. And there is also a team player, so add another team to the pool.
Aw, thanks, guys.
All right, so
Hopefully I don't get my butt kicked by the milkmaid.
yeah, so Flynt's about to jump out of the Kirby craft and try and intercept Milkmaid midair. Kitsune is going ahead to protect the civilians. What are Hemlock and Subrina planning to do right now?
Subrina is probably going to join Flynt as soon as she gets Miku and Chloe to the facility. Maybe she will have. I mean, unless you have another idea, Danae. we could get Chloe to like get all the milk out, get all the yogurt out, like try and like sneak it out the back.
Protect
Remove the milk.
Well, we don't want her to get stronger.
Well, I'll put it this way. One of my flares in my burns and flares is literally moat, which means that like Chloe would probably be best suited to like holding her back.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or I could steal all of the milk and then put up a moat around it and protect the milk.
Protect the milk.
Milk.
You do you, girl.
Milk.
Milk delivery. All right.
Different show.
Sorry. I'm gonna go get the milk.
All right, so Kitsune
Milk, right?
and Hemlock are going to throw your consideration. The Silver Wolf will shortly be exiting the aircraft. At this point, it's only going to be Subrina who hasn't directly jumped out of the Kirby craft mid-flight, and I suppose Miku. But everyone's just jumping out of this dang ship.
Well, it's kind of like a flyby where they fling the Silver Wolf out, and then they go and land the other two by the place, and then Corvid's gonna park so the Kirby craft doesn't get destroyed, and then go join Flynt.
Yep.
I'm
Slingshot
gonna do a
maneuver.
Disney princess and ask some birds very nicely to put me on the ground.
Yep. So
Uppies.
there's some seagulls, because this is a port town, that are flying by. You stick your head out and ask them, and they do.
Yes. The mice of the
agree.
sky.
Yeah. And so they will help carry you down. Hemlock, I assume you are plant shooting out again.
I'm just gonna basically drop down out of the Kirby craft and like all the plants on the ground just kind of like pull up and like soften my landing.
Sure. All right, so you two get there. You start rallying the civilians. What are you all going to say to them? Because you should roll. You are superheroes. Be superheroes. How are you handling this situation?
Guess I'm handling it.
I throw open the doors and in my spooky green trench coat with my Carmen Sandiego ass hat go, I'm gonna need all your milk.
The civilians are confused. Some of them are concerned, but they also see, they can hear the booms of the milkmaid getting closer. They don't necessarily know what that is. They also, a lot of them are checking their phones, and you see some of them being like, okay, which villain is closest? And people are clearly aware something is up.
I'm gonna power up.
Okay, so yeah, you can roll to charge up your powers. Kitsune, what are you doing to help get people moving?
She's going to very, very calmly sort of walk into the shop as everyone is checking their phones. And because she has internet brain, I think she's going to, as she starts talking, sort of connects to the Wi-Fi probably, and gets everybody's phone to the right place so they can tell which villain is closest and see that it's the milkmaid. Say, we have a villain problem. I'm going to ask everyone to calmly make their way towards the exit and follow me to safety.
Some people just book it, but most people start kind of following what you say. Also, what's Kitsune's hero outfit look like?
She's got kind of like a black cat situation going on. Obviously, I think less revealing
Sure.
than what it would be. But yeah, it's kind of like it's basically a bodysuit, which is mostly black, with some sort of around the collar and sort of around like the her boots and everything. There are these like it's sort of like edged in gold, just like a black and gold thing going on.
Okay.
And like a domino mask, because that's fun.
Yeah. All right, so between the two of you, you are able to get the civilians out and usher them towards the nearest emergency shelter, which there are several around the city, given how many supervillains there are in residence here. And so you are confident that the civilians are all secure and can make your way back for your consideration. But let's go back over to Team Head Empty. We are going to have to come up with a Chloe, Miku, you can brainstorm a team name.
He's still Head Empty. Star and Pookie, who knows?
All right, so Star and Pookie, you are positioning the Kirby Craft to yeet the Silver Wolf out at the Milkmaid. I think this is just going to be a directly engaged threat roll as you see the Milkmaid getting ready to make another stupendous leap through the air.
And I've got a +1, right?
If you want to use it, yep.
Sure.
All right.
That is a full hit.
Yeah, that's an 11. So when you directly engage a threat on a 10+, you get to pick 2, resist or avoid their blows, take something from them, create an opportunity for your allies, or impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
Good question. I think I'm going to both try and surprise the opposition. Just, hey, there's a giant wolf coming at you now. Boom, you got hit. And then create an opportunity for my allies.
Okay, so I'm assuming the Kirby Craft was in stealth mode, which helps because Milkmaid is just leaping through the air, already midair, and suddenly, from her perspective, a werewolf appears out of midair, knocks her off course. So let's see. She is going to... Which condition is she going to take? She is going to... She's going to be insecure here right now, which means that she is going to do a villain move, but that will happen when she lands. And right now, she's surprised, but very quickly you thought that maybe you would be able to get a glancing blow, but have we asked before, does Flynt have a tail when he's in Silver Wolf form?
We have not asked before, but yes, he definitely has a tail.
Okay, so you think you are going to get in some good positioning when you feel your tail is yanked quite firmly.
Yep.
And she is going to just, she's not hitting you yet, but she's just swinging you around and around and around. And as you both near the ground, she is going to yeet you into the ground and then land on you, as you did not resist or avoid her blows.
Nope, did not. And
Can
ouch.
I protect someone, please?
You can attempt to.
Can I? I'm defending is what I'm doing?
Yes, that would be a defend roll, unless you have another move.
I don't think I do. I just have, yeah. Okay, so I do have +1 because of my captain, because it's first thing and stuff. So
Yep.
we're going, and
You should also have another +1 because influence. Don't forget, if you have influence over your teammates, you get to add that.
Do.
Yeah, so that's a 10.
All right, very good. So on a hit, you keep them safe and choose 1. So add a team to the pool, take influence over someone you protect, or clear a condition.
I guess I'll add 1 to the pool because it's not. Okay, no, because I already have influence over everyone.
Yes, and just a reminder, if you have influence over someone and you get it again, you get to shift the labels.
Oh, right. I don't want to do that.
Yep, so that is fair. So yeah, go ahead and add a team to the pool. And so how are you protecting Flynt in this moment?
So she's spinning him around, and as she moves to like slam him down on the ground and land on him, the second she lets go of his tail, Subrina sort of like flies in, like skidding across the ground, and like grabs him and turns, and sort of like they roll on the ground so that it braces the impact.
Okay. Very
her
good.
cape is like just on top of her. She's like, ah! Are you okay?
Dazed and like looking around. Yeah, let's get her.
Okay, I'm gonna flashbang her, so.
And so now that the milkmaid has crashed without her cushion, she seems very briefly dazed, but she quickly emerges from the rubble of the small building that she has landed in, shakes things off, and just goes, "Ugh, need more dairy. If you don't let me have dairy, I'll eat it from your bones."
You are on a diet. Starting right now.
So she is now either going to try and get to the froyo, or is going to get very intense in her violence against you all.
I mean, we're getting in our way.
Yep. We'll say that so you were able to kind of knock her off course a bit, but she was still getting very close to throw your consideration. So she's about, or you all are about a block away as Kitsune and Hemlock get back to throw your consideration. You see them down the street. Silver Wolf and Corvid are between you and Milkmaid at the moment. What would either of you like to do, and have you come up with a team name?
Are we team social anxiety?
Yes.
All right.
Okay. So.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I thought maybe we should be team millennial, but the social anxiety really spoke to me.
It spoke to me too.
I think Kitsune would like to pull some focus. I think to keep her away from the shops, and also maybe create an opening. So I think she's going to as she runs through, so maybe like, I don't know, like climbs up like a fire escape or something, with the help of I don't know, some city and some rats, probably. Pretty used to working with mice and rats at this point. I think like climbs up and starts to shout, and I think her eyes go like white as she starts to shout and try to amplify her voice, and she just calls down like literally every seagull she can find within the area, and really just starts to like make a scene and send them like screaming towards the milkmaid, really just to sort of like be a distraction and get her to come this way.
Okay, so it sounds like you are trying to provoke someone.
That sounds great to me.
All right, so please roll plus superior.
It's just a lot of birds. That's an 11.
All right, so on a 10 plus, they rise to the bait and do what you want. So you have swarmed her with seagulls. You want her to come towards you, which is not at throw your consideration currently, like across the street, you said, or?
Yeah, sort of like across the street, kind of like up, trying to get her like to just like keep coming down the street, essentially, instead of going for one of the buildings.
Okay. So seagulls swarm. They peck at her. You probably promised them some breadcrumbs in her on her person or something. And she, so Silverwolf and Corvid, you see she was starting to go towards you when suddenly birds. It's like she hit a cuckoo too many times in Legend of Zelda, and it fed seagulls instead.
And I think Kitsune is just like screaming, like
Bird screech noises.
Yeah, and so she's swatting them away. So, birds, your bones are so weak. You need more berry. And is like, swatting some of them away. Most of them are like doing drive-bys and not actually getting hit, but she will reorient herself and sees Kitsune shrieking and is going to turn and charge towards you. Let's see. She is now going to use her. She's going to do she's not going to leap because it's too close, but she is going to use her enhanced muscles and bones to very quickly move in your direction. And so far faster than any of you think she should be capable of, given her current bulk. She is at the base of the fire escape that Kitsune is on and is just starting to rip it apart. And so the thing you're standing on is starting to lose its support structure.
exactly as I planned.
Seems like a bad plan, Flynt says as he's going to run after the milkmaid.
Okay. I will say, Hemlock, you are probably the closest to the milkmaid currently.
Am I?
I mean, other than Miku, right?
Yeah, because the other two are still kind of down the street.
Right.
She just
you're-
barreled on past us.
Yeah.
I mean, my plan was to go into the Froyo place and like get all the dairy out of there and.
Okay. So
move
yeah,
it
what
elsewhere.
are you attempting to do in that regard while the rest of your
Right.
team is keeping her distracted?
Well, first of all, I rolled to charge up my
Yes.
powers, got an 8, which is a hit, but I also take a condition. I went ahead and took Insecure, because this is a ridiculous situation. And if anybody asks her why she's taking all of the milk, she's not gonna be. She's like, don't even ask me. Don't even ask. So it's fine. She's here. She's holding 3, and I think she's gonna throw up a moat just around the Froyo place, first of all,
Okay.
to try and protect it. Which is to say, just like a bunch of vines and things grow up around the building itself to just kind of like prevent entry.
Okay. So yeah, you do that. You spend one of your burn. Yeah. So for now, seem fairly confident that you have created a jungle around the for your consideration.
And inside, she's just going to like she puts her arms out, and it's very Doc Ock, like a bunch of vines just come out from inside her sleeves, and start gathering up every source of dairy in the store and putting them all in like haphazardly into one fridge, just so that she can keep track of all of it. She's putting all her eggs in one basket.
Sure. We'll see if that is a wise decision or not later. We'll go back out. I think it's probably Corvid or Silverwolf's turn to act. So the milkmaid is currently assaulting the fire escape that your friend is on. You see a bunch of plants spring up around for your consideration. You assume Hemlock's doing something in there.
Mm-hmm. Subrina is gonna fly over, and she is going to fly directly in front of the milkmaid, and she is going to flash a bright light and try to like momentarily blind her.
Okay. I'm trying to remember what role we've done for this before. Was it?
Because I think I think it was provoke someone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds reasonable enough to me.
Okay.
So that would be plus superior.
Mm-hmm. All right, I rolled a 5.
Oh dear. So
Well, we got
could-
two friends here that can probably help.
Do.
Yeah. So you could either take the miss and the potential, or y'all have so much team in the pool.
I mean, we don't want it to go bad, so.
Yeah, we might as well use the team. We've got it.
Yeah.
Just like the fro, don't want it to go bad. Got to use
Yeah.
it before it expires.
Exactly. I was going to say what Flynt is going to do, since they were both kind of like going at the milkmaid at the same time, and he knows what the plan is. He's going to like grab the milkmaid around like her arms so that she can't cover her eyes, and close his own
Okay.
to help.
Yeah. You're able to do this. I will say she is much broader than you were perhaps expecting, and so like you can barely get your fingers together around her. Okay, so that is one team in use. Kitsune, what can you do to assist here?
I'm debating between two things.
All right.
One of them was to shout out some great advice that maybe Mouseketeer might have given in the situation. The other was birds.
Both good options.
I think I'm gonna stick with the birds. So I think Kitsune sort of like lifts her arms, and again her eyes have just gone like this weird like glowing white. She's gone like complete bird brain, I guess. And she's gonna ask the seagulls to sort of swarm around to the milkmaid's back and just sort of like peck at her. And so while her arms are already sort of being held, like her instinct will be, because that's where the pain is coming from, to keep them back. So it's easier for Flynt to like hang on to them.
Okay. So yeah, between all that, you are able to get the milkmaid in such a position that now your provoke someone goes up to a 7 to 9. So they can instead choose one. They stumble, you take +1 forward against them. They err, you gain a critical opportunity. They overreact, you gain influence on them. I'm going to say that they overreact. So, Corvid, you are going to gain influence on the milkmaid in this moment, which will mean you have +1 against them. There is also ways to take advantage of your influence over someone. Though, I guess that is the only one that would really make sense for an NPC is this is in the Influence 3 handout, by the way. Would be the, well, I suppose you could inflict a condition on them if you wish, but anyway, you have influence over the milkmaid, you flash her, she is going to overreact.
With light, please.
Yes. Yep, flashbanger, and so she's going to overreact and say, "Ah, my eyes! They are not bones, they need more dairy!" She has a very one-track mind, and so she is going to careen wildly. Flynt, if you hang on, you're probably going to get banged up a bit as she bounces around the alley.
I think Flynt like lets go and lets her bounce about.
Okay, and so
And
she's...
like sets a runner's stance to charge at her as soon as she like comes to halt.
Yep, so she is pinballing around now that her arms are free. She's trying to swat at the seagulls, but again, they mostly stay out of the way. And so she is going to, she bounces around, bounces into a dumpster, realizes it's something, and while she's still blinking things away, she's going to pick it up and just chuck it at the direction that she thinks she remembers Corvid was going. Again, she's been spinning around a bit. May not be the most accurate with this. So let's see. go ahead and roll a 1d4 to see who she is chucking it at. Is gonna go towards Corvid.
Hey, it's my turn to protect.
Such a good boy. He
Yeah.
attack, he protect.
You don't have to do that because I do get things if I take conditions.
But most
But
of
you
all,
can-
he snack.
He does. Or you
You're
can.
my-
Yes.
You're my love right now. I get to roll danger to protect.
That
Okay.
is true.
It's fine.
And I have influence over you.
You
So I
do.
get another +1.
Yep.
He protect.
He does protect. He a good
I mean,
boy.
I know she's got things, but like he's gonna want to protect.
Yeah,
Makes
that's
sense.
fine.
It's a 10.
Okay, so yeah, on a hit, you keep them safe and choose 1. So you add a team to the pool, take influence over someone you protect, or clear a condition.
Well, I guess we're adding a team to the pool. Because I don't have any conditions yet, right?
Check your sheet.
I do not. I don't.
Okay.
Is the answer to that question. So use one, get one back, I guess.
Yep. All right. So how do you protect your
he's-
alien boo?
So like she's thrashing around in the alleyway. He sees her grab the dumpster, and like someone who's getting ready to catch a football, like as she hurls it, he like jumps up to intercept and like grabs it and tries to slam it back down towards her.
He just spikes it.
Yes. Oh yeah, he was playing volleyball this year. He he blocks it.
Very nice.
Sorry, I imagine the tongue out while he does it, just like.
Yep. All right. You do that. It's great. Corbin, you can think what you want about your boyfriend coming to your rescue.
He is shirtless, but also a werewolf.
She's into it.
Yeah.
Who's not into it?
Anyway, so let's see. So she is still rubbing and clearing her eyes, but she is going to yell out at you all. Weaklings! Using tricks! Get stronger bones! You need strong bones! And so she is going to attempt to make you all insecure about the frailty of your bones.
I got the strongest bones ever.
And so,
Joke's on you, I'm always insecure.
yep. So, oh gosh. I don't remember if there's a rule for if you already have a condition and you get the same one. But, yeah. So, unless you all figure out a way to defend each other from this psychic assault on the frailty of your bones, in this moment, seeing the feats of strength she has performed, you should take the insecure condition. Yes,
Did Miku try to give some advice?
Mm-hmm. Go
I think
for it.
Mouseketeer would have had something to say about this. And I think she says, oh man. Now I'm going to have to roll for something. No, I think she says this, and I think Miku just like sort of comes down from like commanding the birds and cocks her head, and she's got one kind of like floppy ear, and is like, that is not the only strong thing about a body. Yes, you must have strong bones, but you must also have many other strong things. Strong muscles, a strong heart, a strong mind, and a strong will. I think you have massively overstated the importance of strong bones. And also, that much calcium could be dangerous for your system.
All right, so please roll your move as you attempt to dole out this wisdom.
Okay, yes, so I can roll, not mundane, I can roll savior
Mm-hmm.
for this, which gives me a +1. That's a 9.
Okay.
Would one from the team be
Wait,
beneficial?
I've got this.
Oh,
I've
she's
got
got
this.
this.
Okay. Because I will say
Sabrina-
getting up to the full hit will protect everyone from this psychic assault.
I don't know if this is for everyone, but Subrina turns to Flynt and goes, I think you have a really strong bone.
We're just gonna sit with that for a second, let you think about what you've done.
Chloe from inside just, what?
If anything, Subrina underestimates you. You have many strong bones.
All right, so
They're all buried in my backyard.
now that we've approached that joke from pretty much every angle, unless
Every
Someone
angle
looks directly
possible.
into the camera, like in The Office.
yeah. So you all are able to shrug off this psychic assault on the frailty of your bones. We'll go back to Hemlock in the shop. You have gotten everything into one location. You still seem to be secure in your plant fortress. What are you doing at the moment?
I'm gonna go out the back door with the fridge and go into the sewers.
Okay. I will say it's going to be difficult to get a whole ass fridge into the sewers, so you're going to need to do something to make this happen. And I will say, the Unleash Your Powers role is to reshape your environment. Unless you can come up with something more specific.
Sure. Huh. How about instead, what I do is I go out the back door, I open up a manhole cover, and then just start dumping dairy down into the sewer.
Okay. Okay, I will say, yeah, you can do that just fine, no problem. However, doing this draws the milkmaid's attention as dairy has now been brought out into the open. She whips her head your way, sees that you are apparently discarding dairy. Her eyes flash red, then she sniffs. You are intolerant! And her eyes just go completely blood red. And so she is again going to do the thing of just, she was there, suddenly crater in the ground, and she is coming your way, ready to pummel you.
Great. Can I possibly get all this dairy into the sewers and then whoop, 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 like get her out of here?
I think if you want to do that in time, this is going to be probably an Unleash Your Powers, because I imagine you are going to use your powers to help with this.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Okay,
Let's
so please roll plus freak.
do it. That's an 11.
Alright, so you do it. So yeah, you're able to dump the dairy down the manhole and get out of the way of her attack.
Sorry, it's
drop the
dump the
fridge
dairy
on her
down
head
the
and-
drain.
Down
Yeah.
the drain.
Alliteration.
Dump
Yes,
the dairy down
thank
the
you.
drain. Okay. I'd like to jump up straight in the air and then just drop the fridge on her.
Okay. Yes, doing so is going to make her angry, and so she is going to vent through unthinking violence.
Ooh.
And so she is going to, again, y'all are kind of in an alley now. There are lots of dumpsters. She starts just ripping pipes off of walls. She is going to just start chucking things at people indiscriminately. Unless y'all take actions to protect each other, y'all are gonna take some hits here.
Sorry, what is it exactly that she's doing again?
She is just chucking whatever's within arm's reach. Most of it is going towards Hemlock, but it is also, some of it is, ricocheting off and heading back towards the rest of you all.
Kitsune will again just try to make a lot of noise in general. The birds, mice, rats, whatever is around to try to pull some of that. Because she
Okay.
knows human bodies are weak.
Okay, so I
mean,
think
Chloe is still, or Hemlock is still Flint's rival, so he's already doing the volleyball defense against one thing, and now he's landed, and now he's looking to protect, like, stop more items from going past. So he can roll to protect Chloe as well.
So yeah, I think you can both attempt savior rolls, or I guess for Flynt it is a danger roll to protect.
All right, that's a 9.
Okay, so on a 7 to 9, it would cost you expose yourself to danger or escalate the situation, but you also get to pick one of those other items as well. Same with Kitsune. And so with Hemlock and Corvid, we can only spend 2 more from the team pool in this moment. So you could get Flint's up to a 10. Kitsune's is going to be stuck at a mixed success.
Yeah, I think that Subrina is going to move back up towards the milkmaid, and she is going to go full mom mode and just be like, this is no way to behave in public just because you are treating these people like they are not worthy. You are throwing a fit. You are making so much damage. This isn't your property.
And so this is attempting to get the milkmaid to not throw things in that direction.
Yes. More of a, like, focus on me. Hey,
Okay.
I'm right here.
I'm trying to think if I want...
Is this me taking advantage of my influence?
Yeah, you could do that. I was deciding if I wanted to have you have to roll to provoke someone, but if you are using your influence, then yes, you can do that.
I will. Can I inflict a condition on them?
Yes. So she is currently insecure and angry. Which condition would you like to inflict on her?
Guilty.
Aww.
All right.
Makes sense.
Yep. So, yeah, so with guilty, she is going to swat at the bug that just flew in my face. She is going to reveal the nature of her drive, and so she is going to throw a few last things. She seems to be wearing herself out, and she's, falls down to her knees and is panting. I'm just so hungry all the time. And my bones hurt if I don't get dairy.
You're just not yourself when you don't have a Snickers. Why don't you try that?
We're small.
You know what? We could get you a nice big Snickers.
And she just starts, ugly crying there on the street.
Subrina is just like a awkward padding, like looks to everyone else like, let's go. Call it in.
And as she is crying, her tears are quite milky, and the more she cries, the more she deflates down to like a less bulky form.
And subscribe.
So, you all seem...
I guess, yeah, we tried to we apprehend her at that point.
Yeah.
So you're able to call it in. Again, most of the paladins and knights in town are very busy, and so you're actually there for a while waiting for some authorities who are free enough to come secure her and put her...
We'll get her a snack.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have someone go get hibachi or something,
Aw. I was just gonna hand her some dairy-free froyo.
She looks at it, looks at you, and just turns her head.
It's not that bad.
Stick with proteins. Let's stick with savory.
Proteins and carbs, right?
If it is the
So,
calcium she needs, there are actually several different sources that are non-dairy that we could give her.
Let's avoid that,
We'll do
just
it
in case.
Yeah, we'll do it in a more test-worthy environment. But that's a great idea.
And she is going to want to avoid, in addition to all dairy, most seeds, most fish products, beans, lentils, almonds, any whey protein, most leafy greens, rhubarb, and several other fortified foods.
Should I be writing this down? No?
Tofu and edamame also.
Perfect. Oh, can we just take her back in the curvy craft?
that would that would be against protocol.
Okay.
And you also don't have containment things on the Kirby craft.
Oh, that's true.
It's best to just, keep her here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so
Make sure the people are okay. Tell them we're sorry that we dumped all of their stuff.
yeah, so you probably spend the next couple of hours again waiting for someone to secure her. Perhaps you slowly start getting the Froyo out of the sewer, realize, oh, you've put food in the sewer. There's no way they can sell that. And just put it back in the sewer, maybe in a dumpster that hasn't been tossed around yet. You've been told how to handle this sort of after-action cleanup in the case that there is no one on hand to help out. And so you start doing this. Eventually, there are some, civilian service crews that show up to assist. Again, proper authorities come to restrain her and take her away. But by the time you all are free and clear, it is, it's been a few hours. It's maybe 2-3 o'clock at this point. And anytime you check in with dispatch, they keep saying, no, just stay there, make sure that situation is contained. And they don't have much time to tell you about what else is happening. But
is there anything we can do? Do we need to go somewhere else?
by the time you finish up and have been given the all clear, you're told just to return to HQ. You get the sense from the news activities and news alerts that there's still stuff going on in the city, but they seem very insistent that your team come back to HQ.
Okay. We go back.
Sus.
And so you fly the Kirby craft back into its hangar. I think it's Greg is the mechanic in the garage who takes care of it. But in addition to Greg, there is also Athenas there waiting, and she looks haggard. Like there are tears in her superhero outfit. She looks like, and in fact, you even just see her making her way into the hangar as you arrive. She is clearly just back from the field and is there looking rather grim as you all land and disembark.
We are really sorry that we dumped all that food down the drain. It was...
No, I haven't read your action report. I'm sure it's fine. Flynt. I am so sorry.
What? What's wrong?
She kind of grimaces, takes the tablet that she's carrying, turns it to show you all a video on it. This is footage from inside the security truck that was transporting Reggie back from the courthouse. This happened while everything was happening. And you watch, there is no audio, but it's Reggie handcuffed, the two guards there, and suddenly appearing in the truck is a glowing purple humanoid who reaches out two hands, gets the guards, they instantly disintegrate. It seems like there is a very brief conversation between Reggie and Mr. Master before he puts a hand on Reggie's chest, and Reggie also vaporizes. Then Mr. Master looks at the truck's camera. There are no facial expressions, but like no eyes, nose, mouth, anything, but looks at the camera, and then in another flash, he's gone.
I think Flynt just like kind of stares at that for a while, and is pretty speechless.
I am so sorry that this has happened. This may be inappropriate to say now, but if it is any consolation, the information that Reggie provided is still moving forward. It is still legally permittable. I understand that nothing can make up for what has happened to him, but what the good that he has done is still in effect. He has still done good, and it will help stop more crime.
Sure, but now we have to stop Mr. Master.
No, that is not for you kids to do. And you all notice that she explicitly calls you kids in this moment. For the most part, they try not to call the Squires kids, but well, actually, Flynt, you weren't there for that briefing, but Subrina and Chloe, you remember that you have previously been warned. Anything regarding Mr. Master, you do not engage, you run away. If you need to, you save civilians, but you do not engage with Mr. Master.
May I ask a question?
Very briefly, I do need to get back out into the field. But yes, what is your question?
Why would you show him something so traumatizing, if only to then immediately tell him to not engage?
Because hero work is messy and he needs to know what is happening, but he also needs to recognize that we will be looking into this. I've received word Amna is on her way. She should be in the city in a few hours.
But surely you are smart enough to predict the outcome of your actions.
Venus does not look very pleased as she looks at you. I understand, but I also know that he deserves to know. And now
It's come to my attention recently that humans value consequences very much, but it seems only the consequences that other people suffer, and not themselves.
Miku, now's not the time.
Now is exactly the time. She's shown him something he wishes to act upon, and then told him not to, for reasons I don't understand.
Because sometimes we have to follow orders.
What if the orders are wrong?
Then we don't do hero work.
I will consider this.
Venus looks like she's about to say something when her tablet beeps. She looks at it. She utters a curse that she normally would not say in front of, you all. I have to get back out there. Flynt, we can talk later, but it has to be later. And before any of you can say anything else, she turns and is sprinting back out of the hangar.
Let's go get changed.
There's probably still stuff to do out there. She's still busy. So should we be.
Okay. Patrol?
Yeah.
Okay.
As you all start heading back out on patrol, you do see Greg, the mechanic, kind of say, I'm not sure if I would do that, but y'all go ahead if you want. Miku, you get a message notification. It's Dr. Hibble, and he says he needs to meet tonight.
I will be patrolling a different part of the city, but I will keep you updated.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. Okay.
Call me if you need me.
You too, okay?
Yes. Good work today.
You too.
Word silence.
Just bounces immediately.
So, a short time later, in the location that you were given, it's an abandoned warehouse. You enter, Miku. You see Dr. Hibble, who is a scrawny, scientist-looking guy, you know, big, thick glasses. He's got the stereotypical lab coat, you know, just looks the part of a scientist. Ah, good. You came. That's good. And you see he is very visibly sweating and like, you know, he looks uncomfortably sweaty.
I did. Do you need a handkerchief, Doctor?
No, my dear, that won't be necessary. A voice says that sounds distant and echoey, and stepping from behind a pillar is a glowing purple humanoid. Dr. Hibble has been so kind as to tell me about his arrangement with you. And so, Kitsune, my dear little kit, I need you to tell me everything you have learned about the Paladins. And that is where we are going to end tonight's session.
Sweet.
Yeah. So, thank you everyone for hanging out with us tonight. Let's see. We are going to, let's see. I do still want us to do, well, we've got the end of session stuff to do. I would also still like us to do Stars and Wishes, and then I'll do it now very briefly. Our schedule the rest of the week should be normal. Again, emphasis on should. Next time we should be live will be Thursday with more Elegant Magics. Then Friday, Neon Souls. Saturday, Star Power. Sunday, Vaesen. Monday, the new show, The Forgotten, that Savvy runs. And then next week, we should be back with some more masks to pick this back up. So we'll get to see some of that in a week. You're going to have to wait until then. But until then, let's put the good music back on. That makes everything better, right?
Definitely.
This was the same episode with the milkmaid.
Yep.
One of the gaps in my memory is the meaning of the word betrayal.
So let's look at the end of session stuff. So at the end of every session, choose one, grow closer to the team, grow into your own image of yourself, or grow away from the team.
This one's difficult. I know Subrina and Flynt grew closer together, but we haven't had much interaction with the rest of the group, which makes it seem a lot like grow away from the team, honestly.
That's how you see it?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we were doing our own thing the whole time, and I didn't really interact much with the rest of the crew, so I'll say that.
Okay, so who are you taking influence away from?
Does Chloe have influence over me?
Nah.
But
sure
Kevin
not.
does, and I didn't get to hang out with Kevin. We only cuddled for a little bit.
I'm
Am
gonna,
I allowed to do that?
Over.
I'm gonna say no because the player isn't here.
Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. Well, then there's no one I can take influence away from.
Well, I think Kitsune gave you influence over her, right?
Yeah.
I have influence
Influence
over
away.
no one.
You have to take influence away from all adults.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you can't just do that one.
What are they
I
going to
mean-
do? Fight him? He's a child.
Yeah, what are they gonna do?
All right, so there's
So
that.
so there's no effect.
Other than the knowledge that Flynt is feeling distant from the team.
Also, his cousin just died. Sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't that good at cousins,
He did cheat at Monopoly, as was pointed out in chat earlier.
obviously. So,
Well,
Quack.
That's the thing is that like now that he's gone, there's no chance to like reconnect. Like all chances for because like obviously their relationship was on the rocks, but like as long as he's alive, like there's still that hope there that like maybe he'll turn around.
now
Maybe it'll
I
be
can't
good.
cheat against him in Monopoly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm 22 for a moment.
All right, who would like to go next for end of session stuff?
God, I'll go. Chloe's grown away from the team. And it's not for the reasons that you think. It's because she thinks Kevin hates her now.
Yeah, well,
Communication is important.
Not having the player here definitely helps. This is all your
Poor
fault,
David's
David.
gonna come back and be like, "What happened?"
What the heck?
it's going to be the gif of Community and Troy coming back with pizza and everything's on fire.
Honestly, this is mostly just me trying to like remind myself like I wanted to have specific interactions with Kevin, and
Yeah.
so like I'm going to escalate it so that like I have no choice but to confront that. So
Sure.
welcome
Uh-huh.
back, David. We have issues.
Yep.
So I'm gonna take influence away from Subrina because
No.
well, quack.
It's all right.
I will also say you've got your nemesis thing as the doomed, and you did make some progress on defeating your nemesis, even if you didn't really
I
get
tried
any.
to.
Yeah, but that is enough given the way that we are kind of running the doom. So you get to mark a potential.
Yay!
All right, who would like to go next?
I think Subrina grew into more of the idea of herself because she really does want to be a strong leader and like reassuring and like all that sort of stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
I think
Okay.
as they get more into battles and all that sort of stuff, she is getting more into what she wants to be.
And you
Yeah.
also contacted your parent.
Yeah.
All right, so which of your labels are you shifting?
I'm going to shift. God damn, I'm gonna. All of my stuff is bad. I'm going to shift down my mundane and up my freak.
Okay.
Freaky.
Yeah, I mean, you were very much reminded of being an alien this session. All right.
I'm very alien.
Yep. And Miku, what you
I get to
thinking?
play? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Miku grew closer to the team.
Yay!
I think she did, I think, statistically did not expect the reception that she got. And then I think there were a couple of instances specifically that made her actually want to work to sort of defend these folks and support them in their fight. So I can give influence to somebody. I'm gonna give that to Flynt. because I think she sort of immediately said a bunch of stuff, and Flynt was the one that was like, yes. Flynt did a lot of yes-anding, I think, for her bullshit. And I think was the one that was sort of the most just like, yes, you're here now, and that seems right. You belong here.
Flint is just a good boy.
Yeah, and I think that sort of fed into her desire, I guess is the closest word I can think of, at the end, to try to back him up in like a weird antisocial way there at the end. So
Sure. And so that was the second time that Flynt got influence over you. So Flynt, you can shift her labels, one up, one down.
Right. I think I'm gonna increase savior. That just makes sense. But decrease danger.
I like it. That's a big old -2 I got sitting there.
Just don't fight people.
I just don't
Especially after betraying us.
Listen. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. And before we move on to Stars and Wishes, I just want to say again, we have some wonderful new art thanks to our friend Z at NecromanZ. I don't know if we have a chat command for that yet, but we will soon. And yeah, you should, tell her how great it is. Maybe see if you can throw money at her to get her to make you some art too. I think she may have gone to bed already, but she'll watch this later. Anyway, she's in our Discord. You can find her on Twitter, all that good stuff.
It is fantastically done. I'm very happy with it.
I also love it. Sorry, I wanted to put it on. I wanted to say
I also
it out
love
loud.
it.
I have a history of sounding
everyone
very.
Say.
I wanted to put. Yeah, I wanted it in the audio medium as well. I love it as well.
Yes, and when she
That
did of
sincerity
me
was
with
much better.
a mask is very good. Probably going to be my new internet social media icon, all that good stuff. And then there will also be a Kevin one that we'll get to see, but he's not here tonight, so it's not here yet. Yeah. So let's go and do. I know we're running over time, but Stars and Wishes. Star, something that you thought someone else did that was very good. Wish, something that you want to see. Anyone know what they want to do for this?
Star, pet names. And then your guys' reaction to the pet names. Wish, there's got to be some conflict about this relationship at some point. Something's going to happen. And, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, very good. Who would like to go next?
Star, bird screech. Wish, please don't have Savannah's character betray us again.
Well, they should be
Savvy.
back next week, so we'll see.
Are you just all
But
about the
I
betrayal?
won't.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about it later, but go on.
Yeah.
Star. Miku Kitsune.
Yeah. For those of you who maybe didn't pick up on that joke name, I know.
Somebody had to say it.
I feel like
Use
most
my
people
star to
got
do
it, but
Yeah.
it was a Hatsune Miku joke.
Yeah.
It did take me a second. But I love it. Wish. I want to do crimes for Kevin.
Okay. We'll see how that goes. Savvy, do you have thoughts, or should I go?
I'll do one. Star. Alex allowing me to make this character after just screaming at him, Alex, Kitsune Miku, do you get it?
Oh, that's good.
This is great. Yes, ending. Wish Miku getting the benefit of the doubt.
We shall see.
Because these are good beans.
Yeah.
She's not a bad one.
She's not bad. She just lacks
Or
the
is she? You
capacity
don't
for
know.
empathy.
All right.
That kills people.
And then let's see. Me. I think a star is that apparently the group's onboarding method is let's go watch old teen classics.
And Froyo.
Yeah.
Two very crucial things: sleepovers and froyo.
Yep. So Froyo binge watching sleepovers, and then my wish is to see how Miku's loyalties get tested and what that does to or for the group.
I'm just here to cause drama.
Yes, very good. And it's why you'll probably be back next week. More drama. Kevin-related drama. So yes, next time we should have David back. We won't have our LB, unfortunately. So Subrina is going to be going MIA for some reason. And maybe we'll get to hear a bit about why Kevin wasn't around. But we are a bit over time. Does anyone have things they want to plug or promote before we go bye-bye? No. Yeah, you know what to do. If you're watching this, you are internet savvy enough. Follow us on Twitter and Twitch and the Discords. We've all got our names and our faces here. Yeah. So, until next time, good games and good night, internet.